every morning at 7 o'clock I go to church. And I go to the hi-ho and I drink coffee. And I was fine. Everything was fine. So I got some coffee and I sat down, and all of a sudden my cup, I couldn't pick it up. Well, I could pick it up, but things were wrong. Things were wrong. And the mayor, Pete in the Pinto, was right there. And he says, I think Mr. Benny's having a stroke. You know, he recognized it right away. And all of a sudden, you know, I just fell down.
My husband and I were just waking up. My alarm clock had gone off, but we had not gotten out of bed. And we had a phone call from a friend who was now our mayor, actually, and he was the one that was with my dad at the time, and he said that he had had a stroke.
The stroke, you know, was pretty bad. I was in a coma 2.5 days.
When he was in the emergency room, there's a shot that they can give to reverse the signs of or symptoms of stroke, and his blood pressure was so high that the doctors had said it was such a risk that had they given him the shot that there was a chance that he might not make it. And, you know, there was, in a short amount of time, that's a big decision to make. You know, when my entire family, we came together and decided that it wasn't worth losing him. And so that meant that in his recovery time that he did not have any, you know, symptoms reversed. He had to start all the way back over.
I couldn't say one word, not one word. I couldn't say my wife's name. I could say my name, my son's name, my daughter's, or nothing.
So aphasia is a language disorder that typically happens after a stroke, and it affects all language modalities to varying degrees. So a person may have a stroke, and then when it affects their left hemisphere of their brain, that's where the language centers are. And so the person can have problems with understanding language when we talk to them, producing language, being able to say things, reading, and writing. And like I said, all of it can be affected to varying degrees.
I was in the hospital 2 months. I said, you know, I don't want to live like this.
When he came out of his coma and and he was able to start doing some things, he really couldn't verbalize a whole lot. Matter of fact, hardly anything at all. But he kept telling his kids he wanted to come to see us. He came, they dropped him, they brought him in a truck, and he was getting out the truck, and he saw me across the street. He stopped me on the sidewalk, and without being able to say a word, we just looked at each other, and I knew what he was wanting to say. And I just grabbed his hand and I told him, I said, Mr. Benny, when you're ready to come work out with me, and just let me know.
They were working on my words. I got a little better, just a little better, just a little better. And then when the insurance just stopped completely, I went to Southeastern.
So we have a Southeastern Speech, Language, and Hearing clinic. So I work a lot with Ms. Dare, who is the clinical supervisor who works with the majority of those individuals. And she runs an aphasia group, and they meet weekly. And the aphasia group plays a great role in providing support and education and therapeutic practice for individuals that have had a stroke.
I spent 10 semesters at Southeastern. Miss Roxanne and Dr. Savage were unbelievable. And the people there, we were all great. And the girls that helped me, the teachers, you know, I can never thank so much. Jeff at Spoga helped me so much.
I got the idea, because I used to box a little. I said that would be great for his balance. And I'm wondering what he would think about that. So one day I just said, Mr. Benny, we're going to go upstairs and we're going to hit the heavy bag. And he got all excited. So we started going upstairs, hitting the heavy bag, then he would start hitting mitts. And it was amazing to watch the transformation in his balance, acuity, language, everything just started to, it just was like an avalanche of progression. He would stop by the door before he'd leave and he'd want to tell me something. He'd say, I want to tell you something. And he'd get so frustrated, he couldn't remember exactly what he wanted to tell me. And he knew it was there. And I said, you know, I would try to help him with it. You want to tell me something about the gym or my members? Or, no, I got to tell you something. I said, okay. And one day, he again turned around and he wanted to tell me something. And he was struggling finding the right word. He said, there's a word I want to tell you. And man, he starts laughing because he, instead of getting frustrated, he would laugh at himself because he knew what he was thinking. He just couldn't get it out the way he wanted to. And finally one day he just stopped, and I'd already walked off to work with somebody else. And he goes, oh, thanks, hero. And he called me a hero. And it took me back because all the while, actually, he is the hero.
You know, in fact, he's my hero. Jeff has really helped me so much, you know. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, no, thank you. Hero?
Hero.
I told her a story about that.
He's my hero. Miss Roxanne, she told me, she says, you know what, Benny? You're getting a little better, a lot better. And she says, I would think it would be good for you to make inspirational talks. Well, that's okay, but I couldn't say inspirational. One of the classes, my wife came with me. My wife died 9 months ago, but my wife, she was unbelievable. She came with me to be an inspirational talk. And I talked, and my wife talked, and it was supposed to have been 30 minutes, but we spent an hour, maybe a little more. After the end, I went around, shakes a few people, and I met some good friends, you know.
But he is something. He just, like, when he walks in the room, he just lifts everybody's spirits, you know. So we love Mr. Benny, huh?
Yep.
Benny. And Benny's your best friend.
I know he's become an advocate for wanting to help people overcome the fear of it, the fear of the family. How does a family deal with this new change in somebody's life? Because it changes the entire family.
We have encouraged him to go to the hospital and talk to other people that are in similar situations that have had a stroke.
If we hear of someone that's had a stroke, he's very proactive and going to find them and talk to them and try to encourage them to not give up.
And I would talk to them, you know, just don't quit. Please don't quit.
His mantra of never give up, he shares that with other people, and it's infectious.
Southeastern, the hospital, you know, I can never thank you so much. I bought a house just be close to Southeastern. I bought a little truck, just put Southeastern on each side in yellow. It's just a way of saying thank you. I have my golf court. The girls put things about Southeastern's around it. You know, it's just a way of thank you. Southeastern's home. Ain't no place like home, baby. You know, I don't know where you live or where you go or whatever, but this is home.